In OC game, you're going to see your fair share of PP metas. The other day, it was the A meta where everyone's out here farming the Fire Rage map. People are making their own A maps like Fire Rage, farming them, Black Clover, and they're going to get some PP using the A meta. But nowadays, it is the speed meta where people are going to hop on Glory Days with their Wu-Tang. They're going to start doing their DKS rapid trigger, tapping like cloutiful, doing their chud tapping, and they're going to print 1Ks like crazy. And in this video, I kind of want to talk about the speed meta really quick and just talk about some recent scores lately in the OSU game, because there's been some scores circulating recently, especially with maps like the Flight of the Bumblebee, Hidden DT Hard Rock, and Snow Goose. There's plays by Aimbot Cone with a 1.4K and the Collie Bandit for 1.4K on 3 mod on Flight of the Bumblebee, and Sisso gained 1.5Ks on 11 stars, and Nine Potato coming back and getting some crazy plays on this Flight of the Bumblebee map. And I kind of just want to talk about this meta really quick. We've had this OSU speed meta for perhaps like a year now, and it didn't used to be this way. It used to be where everyone was going to hop on the TV size DT jump map, which is still a viable method to farm, but speed maps in particular just give a lot more PP in comparison to the aim maps. And I feel like that is something that's attributed to the rise of rapid triggers. So whether you use a sail device or a drunk deer or a routine, you're going to hop on the routine and start tapping like crazy. And I feel like everyone can just tap nowadays. It's just a lot more easy accessible just to use the rapid trigger and just tap really fast. All right guys, but here's the perspective of me on the wall here, because I'm too lazy to set up the green screen on the other angle. But I just want to add this story here that's a bit unrelated, but it might relate to this, where it seems like everyone can just tap nowadays. So my little brother, for example, he doesn't even play OSU that much. He plays a little bit. He gets like a 50 PP top play, so he's not really the best grinder out here. But he was basically playing Roblox one day. He was raging and grinding, and I was like, what the fuck is going on with him, right? And like he's raging and screaming, oh, aping over the craziest Roblox stuff, right? And I was like, what can you get so upset about Roblox for? So I walked up to him and I saw him playing this Roblox track and field game where you essentially pass the baton with your teammates while you run around the track and field. And he was essentially tapping the keys Q and E. Those are the inputs for you to sprint faster, right? And he was tapping them at like 300 BPM, like tapping like an absolute menace. And I was like, holy shit, this guy doesn't even play OSU and he's out here tapping like an absolute legend. Imagine someone that's out here actually playing OSU, someone that's not of his vernacular and skill and is playing OSU game and tapping at Q and E at 500 BPM or some shit. He's out here Chad tapping. So it feels like a lot of people, they already had the innate skill to tap really fast, and they could just put that with routine and rapid trigger and tap even faster, which just makes tapping a lot more accessible. And I also just want to talk about how streams and speed, so this is just my opinion, but I feel like streams and speed flow aim is just a lot easier to aim compared to just normal jumps, because you just move around with the circles, right? Maybe on mouse is a little different, but if you just play with the tablet and pen, you're going to be going around the place, drawing circles, just drawing geometry. You're drawing your circles like you're in calculus class. Like, it's not that hard, right? But besides that case, I just want to circumvent to the point where I said perhaps speed gives a bit more PP than aim in comparison, where I saw this post on Reddit where it says that Freedom Dive, the another diff, people are DTing this nowadays, right? And these guys are getting A ranks, S ranks on Freedom Dive DT another diff. And it used to be that it only gave 1.4K for an SS back then, like a couple years ago. But nowadays it gives 2.4K PP for an SS. Doesn't that mean that PP has been inflated and the PP value doesn't matter as much as it used to? And I feel like in speed in particular, perhaps for flow aim, maybe speed just got over buffed here, because maybe 1.4K for an SS on Freedom Dive DT is pretty undervalued. I feel like maybe 2000 or 1800 PP for an SS is more like it. 2.4K for an SS is kind of crazy IMHO. That's just the case right there for Freedom Dive on DT. Other maps like Glory Days, these guys are boosted by length bonus as well, and they can print 1Ks like crazy as long as you aim it and are able to tap 267 BPM consistently. But I'm not out here trying to say that speed is an easy skill set. It's not. Perhaps me, for example, I'm not really the best speed player because I haven't really grinded it that well. I don't really think it's the type of skill set that fits me. Speed, I respect the players who are willing to put into effort and are going to play it 6 hours a day. These guys are up here warming up my whole last play session just to be able to play the normal speed maps that they usually play. So I respect the dedication and effort, but I just feel like once you get to that point of mastering it, it's just really easy. But you can really say that about any other skill set, and I'm just saying here that perhaps the advent of routine and the fact that PP values for speed maps are inflated compared to how they used to be. I don't know. It just seems like they're a bit inflated in comparison. And I also want to give my own subjective evaluation of speed versus aim PP. So when I was looking at an aim 900, so I was looking at Adam Pretzkalak's play, aka, I don't know what the AKA is, but I was basically watching his YouTube replay of his 900 to check PP record. He was out here getting the 900 on 3 mod on this jump map, and I was watching, I was like, how is this 900? This map looks like it should give like 1300. And I kind of just commented like, what the hell, dude? And then I look at the speed maps that give like 1200 or something. I'm like, dude, I feel like this aim map should give more PP than the speed map, or not maybe more, but the aim map in comparison, it feels like it's undervalued compared to the speed map where you just tap around. And of course, it's not easy to play speed like that, but I just feel like it's undervalued regardless because of that PP value inflation. But that's kind of just my thoughts on the speed metas there. It might be a bad take, but that's just like my opinion on it. So I'd like to wonder your guys' opinion in the comments down below. I also want to give my thoughts on the DKS, the cloutiful situation, the resolution of it. I haven't really talked about the resolution of the whole situation, but basically, if you guys did not know, cloutiful is a number 3 Osu player. He used to be, and he choked 2K on Snow Goose 3 mod, but then someone made a cheating allegation report against him. He's like, dude, he's out here getting 60 ms hold circle time distribution consistently, and then people looked into it, and then cloutiful admitted it under all the pressure, was like, yeah guys, I cheated. But when I looked at it, I was like, dude, is this even cheating? And essentially what cloutiful did is that he used a rapid trigger routine feature called DKS. I forgot what DKS actually means, but essentially what it is that if you tap with your keys, then you can essentially double tap, and it's kind of like a macro. I don't actually fully understand how it works, but essentially if you tap once, it essentially triggers another key if you tap it again. And if you can configure the settings enough, you can essentially make it so that you can single tap like 300 BPM, for example. You can single tap it, but you would actually be streaming the whole last stream, so you could be doing that with both fingers, and they would both macro each other to do another tap. Like, I don't know, it was something crazy. If you look at cloutiful's live play, he's double tapping it, but he's tapping these streams of pristine accuracy at 300 BPM, which is insane. And I was kind of skeptical of just even cheating, but I assume that it is cheating because it's essentially macroing. You could do macroing and trigger another key press with one key press, so I guess that's cheating right there. But I don't know, I don't really know if it's cheating or not personally, but if everyone thinks it's cheating and Osu game thinks it's cheating, then I suppose it's cheating. But I don't know, it's just macroing, not really cheating. It depends on what you define as cheating, but I thought it was a clever way for cloutiful to get by with it, honestly. And I feel like there's a lot of other players out there that's using DKS and they're not under the radar like this. So perhaps we're gonna find more players that are actually using DKS and are quote-unquote cheating. But I don't know, that's just my take on it. I know a lot of people are gonna be like, what the fuck, bad take, L, but that's just my opinion on it. And cloutiful, he did get banned, he did get restricted, because obviously OC Game's like, okay, number 3 Osu player, you think we're really gonna let that slide and have a cheater in the top 100? No, he's out of here, and cloutiful's banned. And I know that cloutiful went on Sisso stream. I know you guys make fun of my pronunciation of Sisso, and I sound like I'm saying Sisto or something. I don't know. I can't pronounce my THs that well. But he was essentially on Sisso's stream and donated like $63. He did the $40 donation first. He's like, this is my final message, bros. God, bye. And then he did like a $23 donation. He was like, yo, let me hop on like the VC or something. And like he hopped on the VC and like showed everyone the skills. And I know cloutiful's aim is completely legit and his reading is, but his tapping, maybe it's not. But I don't know. Cloutiful here, he did get restricted. I hope he learns his lessons and comes back from this with shining stars. The OC community does have a history of commending the cheaters in the game. They don't exactly frown upon them and think they're bad. It's not like they're the Xerath macroers, the Chinese Xerath macros of League of Legends, and everyone hates on the scripters in League. It's not like that type of hate. If someone cheats in an OSU game, they have a very good chance of being able to come back with their reputation. It's not that bad. It's not something out here like you're getting alligated with grooming 10-year-olds or something. But that's pretty much all I want to say in this video, and I'll see y'all.